Eric Clopper is trying to pull off a monumental challenge with Intact Global to get non-religious infant circumcision banned in the United States. People voted for Eric Clopper as the #1 MVP of Intactivism a year or so ago on Prevail over the system, but yet recently Eric Clopper is making people upset and concerned. So you might wonder, what's been going on? Well, here is #1. Separating from Eric Clopper's original message and losing his roots completely. If you remember back from the play Sex and Circumcision, an American Love Story, Eric captivated hundreds of thousands of people. But then 6 years later, he flipped completely. So, in summary, he went from
I may be many things, but I'm so far from fucking wrong! And I will tear our covenant to pieces to prove it!
So the reason why a lot of people and intactivists resonated with what Eric said there was because many felt they fell victim to religious overreach that enabled egregious crimes being carved into their bodies, crippling them forever. And people felt that passion, and people loved Eric Clopper for it. Look at the seriousness in this guy's eyes right now. Like, look at that. He is super angry. And he went from being angry to now it's, OMG, I'm so sorry, Eliyahu, I denounce anti-Semitism. And this happened about a year ago. This led Eric to quote-unquote team up with Eliyahu. This was a PR disaster that I honestly forgot about when we decided to try and back Intact Global like 5 months ago. I already made a video about that. The audio quality wasn't the best, so I definitely recommend not using headphones because it only played through one ear, so definitely play it on speaker. But yeah, it's really good. I would recommend you check it out. But now, Eric Clopper is doubling down on clinging to his Jewish identity and letting that be known for everybody. In his daily live #5, so this question gets asked right here, Eric, did you leave Judaism? Now, first of all, I understand I have the luxury of time to think about this, and perhaps Eric didn't think about this too much during the live stream, but I would have said, I don't want to talk about Judaism. We aren't touching that subject at Intact Global. We're not even going to entertain this question. We're doing non-religious banning, right? But this is what Eric said instead.
Chicken Farm, did you leave Judaism? You know, I like to think that I'm on the forefront of Judaism, and I speak for many, many Jews when I say it is time for us to leave circumcision behind. It harms children, it harms Jewish children, and I can confidently speak for many, many other Jews, like practically the whole religion, but certainly a good chunk of them, that we are going to stop cutting up our babies at birth. I could say that with absolute confidence. And if you're a fellow Jew like me, trust me, you're going to join me and we're going to stop mutilating our children, right? So no, I didn't leave Judaism. I'm on the forefront of Judaism with my fellow Jews. And together we're
quite a few things that just don't even line up about this. He said so many Jews are on our side. What Jews is he talking about? Brahim isn't helping him. Beyond the Bris isn't sponsoring you. Maybe certain individual Jewish people are helping you, sure, but this is the same identity, ideology crap that gets Gaudaf in trouble. Leave other issues out of the intactivism cause, or people are going to get mad at you. Tim Hammond at Gaudaf loves to be like, I'm gay, and I'm cool with gay people. Gay, LGBT, don't circumcise. And that annoys a lot of intactivists. So I don't think it's a good idea to be like, hey, I'm a Jew and I love other Jews and I'm fighting for the Jewish people and let's stop circumcision from the world, but I'm gonna go fight for the Jews too. What are you talking about? You made it known that Intact Global is going to protect males from circumcision for non-religious reasons. Why are you talking about fighting for Jews now? Not only fighting for the Jewish people, but on the quote forefront on it. That's crazy. Once you start doing that, you start isolating other groups of intactivists who perhaps don't like the Jews, or don't care about religious groups. There are a lot of intactivists who hate religion and think it's a poison to society. It's just a blanket hatred for religion. Doesn't matter what religious group. I mean, look no further than Carter Steinhoff. We had an interview with him, and he does not like any of the Abrahamic religions. There's also intactivist Muslims that aren't the biggest fans of the Jewish people or the religion. I don't understand this and how this helps. Like, Potts avoids identity shit like the plague. Prevail over the system doesn't let other things distract from the mission. Now, maybe you could argue it's Eric Clopper trying to combat the threat of being labeled anti-Semitic. But newsflash, lots of Jews call their own people anti-Semitic. The Times of Israel has made an article even calling Brahim anti-Semitic. So I think that argument kind of falls flat on its face. Now, maybe you could argue Eric Clopper is trying to make allies with anyone that he can. Well, that brings us to number 2. Not working with Prevail over the system at all. About 7 months ago, I offered to pay Eric Clopper for an interview. It was $300 for a 2-hour interview. Well, that interview never happened. Eric Clopper gave me the reason, but it was lame, and I'm not going to reveal it because it's in an email, and I can't reveal it because that's personal, private information. I know the privacy laws. But either way, it hasn't happened. But do you know what did? Going back through just the last year, because I filtered this, I filtered video this year. I did Eric Clopper interviews. He's done 2. He's done Wellness and Wisdom podcast, which, you know, they have 30,000 subscribers right here, right up here. That makes sense. If you scroll down to the second one, The End of Circumcision with Eric Clopper with Jen Mayo, she has 150 subscribers. Prevail over the system had way more than that 7 months ago. So it doesn't make sense. Plus the money incentive that we were offering him on top of it. But not only did that happen, Eric Clopper blew the Intact Global donation incentive Potts was running with his Potts e-commerce program. It's closed on March 1st. That's when the initiative ends. But it was for $11,000 plus, a little over that. How many starter shoppers did we get? We had 4 new ones for the 6 months we ran it, but some dropped the Discord, so it looks like we only got like 2. But if we literally go to Intact Global's website, you have their team, which is Eric, Peter, Joe, William, 5 people right there. That could have easily have been 5 people that go do the e-commerce program. Just try it, just one little time. That's all it would have taken. And, you know, that's at least $100 right there. Not only that, it would have helped Potts, but if Eric made an actual video of the promotion with most of his videos averaging about 1,000 views, that could have definitely have helped Prevail over the system and be enough to perhaps give $1,100 to Intact Global if just 10% of his followers partook with how many views he has. Now this could have helped Eric Clopper because that would have been about $1,400 if we add the interview bonus in there, and Potts would be further along, and future work between Eric and Prevail over the system could have happened. Now also, Eric, while doing his daily live stream number 5, Eric made a lot of people in the know of the Potts e-commerce program very annoyed. It actually got pretty rowdy. I was there to see it. That 2 people's comments got deleted. One comment was, "Did Potts circumcise you, bro?" And another viewer told everyone, "I think Eric Clopper hates Prevail over the system." And this was during a live stream. Granted, those comments got deleted, but I'm sure the fans won't have an issue explaining that it did indeed happen, perhaps in the comment section or in my Discord. Now, why were so many viewers upset? Because Eric typically goes on his lives and reads all the comments, for the most part, of people on his live stream. And many people were talking about Potts and the e-commerce program while Eric was live. Well, Eric just so happened to ignore all the comments of like 5 people talking about it, and there was only 25 people maybe at this live stream while it was streaming. So to me, it seems like he knew what the e-commerce program was. I mean, I'm sure someone had to tell him, and if Eric somehow didn't know what the Potts e-commerce program was, I feel like most streamers would ask, like, well, what is that? I have also multiple videos on the POTS e-commerce program as well. So I'm sure he either heard it from somebody or got it from one of the POTS videos if he ever watches it. Like, I just can't see like why he wouldn't ask, oh, well, what is it? You know? So he could have just asked right there, oh, what is that? But he didn't. Instead, he chose to ignore it. All right, so going to the daily live number 5. People are over here. I'm going up right here. So I got pinged right up here by Paul, actually, because I got YouTube notifications. And apparently people were talking about the e-commerce program right here. That's what Ocean Birth let me know. I went back, I watched the whole thing. Like, Eric didn't say anything about the POTS e-commerce program, but let's click it here.
Well, as Paul says.
Okay, so look at this. Literally, I'm asking dumb basic questions about the event so people get the FAQ. He skipped this bare minimum, right? So he skipped this, and went to here.
I'm asking dumb basic questions about the event so people get the FAQ. Go through the
so then
let's go through the lineup,
about,
right?
You know, the conference info and tickets. Meanwhile, if you go through here, people are talking about the POTS e-commerce program. You got Prevail system, Pinball Mosher. You kind of have Ocean Birth talking about it a little bit right up here. But anyways, if you go here from where this comment was, from 27 minutes, so 26:45-ish, it stays on the screen. Look at it. Still staying on the screen. Still on the screen. Still on the screen. And then boom.
So that's Saturday. And then Sunday, we got a whole bunch of comments that okay.
Boom. Look at that. How many days is the conference? So he skipped from here, skips up at the e-commerce program. Once again, talking about Paul's basic questions. Skipped, oh, yo mama, POTS e-commerce program is so easy and awesome. Skip that. Talking about it, answering yo mama. I said, in theory, this is how much we could give Intact Global. Pinball Mosher talking about it. Replying to Pinball Mosher. Paul Kapow saying good luck to you too. Probably talking about the e-commerce program right there. And this is where Eric skips to, all the way down here. How many days is the conference? So he skipped all of this. Like, he literally just skipped the e-commerce program stuff, and that's fantastic. So to be fair, Eric does jump around in this a little bit. Like, he does go back and he checks on other people's comments, but Eric took many of them out of context. For instance, at 51:20,
yo mama, I wish Intactivist groups would work together. It's so annoying. How can we get anything done when we don't work together? That 100% agree. Well, you know, Intact Global, Intaction, and GalDef and Doctors Opposing Circumcision are all going to be at the conference. We're working together on this litigation.
So you saw yo mama talking about the POTS e-commerce program. Pretty sure she or he was upset about Eric just straight up ignoring everyone talking about the e-commerce program. And also, I just wanted you guys to hear Eric Clopper.
Well,
sorry, he had a weird bass thing going on. But I wanted you guys to hear Eric Clopper say for himself that, hey, look, there's no Brahim or Beyond the Briss people going to this Intact Global conference. So, but he does make it about Intact Global again. I actually was going to miss that live stream, but I got pinged from people talking about us. So that's a great job for my fans, by the way. But I feel some type of way when POTS fans get ignored from other Intactivist leaders. My allegiance lies in you guys, the viewers. Eric doesn't pay my bills, obviously. As you see, you guys do. So that's actually why this video is getting released earlier than I wanted to, because 5 people got ignored when they're all trying to bring up the e-commerce program that is supposed to also benefit Intact Global. And that's just wild. You know, I make a news video about the Eric Clopper's daily live streams. POTS supporters and my Yoshis went out to support Eric Clopper too, and that's how they got treated.
crazy? That shit is so disrespectful.
And you might say, oh, Potts, he just wants to focus on Intact Global and he doesn't want to talk about what you're doing. He's just trying to stay focused. Then explain how on the next following day, live stream number 6, he did this.
NLI says we are creating a certification for educating midwives and doulas. We call it the IFC, or Intact Friendly Midwives and Doulas. Wait, Intact Friendly Certified Midwives and Doulas. So that'd be IFCMD. Yeah, that's a tough acronym. And we need educators to film scripted educational courses. So obstetric nurse is not my ugly mug. That's funny. So the reality is, yeah, totally. I mean, I think Rachel might, be worth reaching out to if she wants to put her contact info in the stream.
So literally, Eric Clopper read all of what NLI wanted to do and then offered Rachel to help him. What? That's crazy. There is huge allegations against NLI currently. And more problems are currently developing as we have more people in contact with the nonprofit Cockfight USA. We may actually have to release a second video on that soon, but the writing is on the wall with so many other issues with Next Level Intactivism. We've made a bunch of videos of how Next Level Intactivism is being harmful. We banned him from the Potts' Alliance, or just the Alliance, for a reason. I would never offer another person to help Next Level Intactivism. I learned my lesson with Unaltered. Eric had 2 other much better options in replying to NLI. Like, you could skip it like you did Prevail over the system, and the other fans / Intact Global fans that were talking about it. Or you could just joke around and say, oh, hey, well, I'm not a nurse, sorry, and just move on. But no, he didn't do that. Like, so don't tell me, oh, Eric Clopper just wants to stay on topic. I don't think, like other people have been telling me, I don't think he likes Prevail over the system. But anyways, if you think that was disrespectful, number 3, having his dinner party during Genital Integrity Awareness Week. How to say I'm out of touch with the Intactivist movement, besides the whole supporting Next Level Intactivism thing on the live stream. Or, worse, if he did know about the protests, he essentially told people, you should just drop everything and join me because my plans are more important than everyone else's. The conundrum he put Intactivists in is now you can choose to protest with Saving Our Sons and the Bloodstained Men on the Capitol for Genital Integrity Awareness Week, or you can have a dinner party with Intact Global and listen to some speeches and maybe get a boat cruise. Obviously, the Intact Global event is most likely going to be an echo chamber with other Intactivists. This pulls Intactivist manpower away from Saving Our Sons and Bloodstained Men. I had been covering this for months, well before Intact Global decided on these dates. Just in case the people watching this aren't sure what I'm talking about, even though I cover this in the news every single week, the Bloodstained Men at Genital Integrity Awareness Week is March 29th through March 30th, 2025, in Washington, D.C. Saving Our Sons, dates have been set for Genital Integrity Awareness Week 2025, March 29th through April 4th. Join us on the West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol. The 2025 Intact Global Conference, which is not in Washington, D.C., nowhere near it, it's in Portland, Oregon, is March 29th through the 31st. So you have to make a choice. Oh, before we continue, definitely stay tuned for number 5 because number 5 is going to be pretty wild. But also please subscribe because that really does help Potts out, and like the video. Even if you don't like the information given, liking this video definitely helps. Alright, so number 4. Making a lot of socials and then keeping up with literally none of them. So if you go to his TikTok right here, he has 1 following and 110 followers on his TikTok. There's no video whatsoever. If you go to their Facebook, he is live streaming. So you do have his live streams here. Not picking up too much traction on Facebook. But if you go below there, September 16th was the last time he posted until February 23rd. So it was about a 5-month gap of posting. Once again, if you go to his X, Intact Global Inc., yes, there's live streams that he's putting on there. But if you go down to, like, literally, if you just go down here, you can see, like, he only has, like, maybe 10 posts. So not a lot of posts on the X whatsoever. Maybe 10 posts. The only reason why you see followers on X and TikTok, Facebook, Reddit even, is because Eric Clopper, his reputation precedes himself. Oh, Eric Clopper's doing something? Oh, I'm going to go ahead and follow. Now, I understand Eric Clopper has been really busy with the lawsuit, but my thing is, so I'm not exactly sure who is Intact Global's media person. It could be Peter Trevino. He is in charge of communications. He might be supposed to be keeping up with the social media, or it could be William Wong, secretary in marketing. Either or, like, this isn't Eric Clopper. So, like, Eric Clopper, yeah, he's busy with the litigation and the trials and stuff, but surely these two people have some kind of time to go ahead and make a post or two once a week just to keep things going. It just seems that Intact Global seems to be struggling in the social media sphere, and you need that presence, right? And number 5, overpromising and under-delivering. Intact Global's first conference in litigation, saying stuff like,
Thank you for your service, Mr. Clopper. Love it. At this point, I feel like we have real momentum, and it's not even like we're running uphill. Now we're running downhill, right? And, if you want to be involved in the end.
So, yeah, running downhill. Okay, so that's how much momentum we have.
Genital cutting of children, the non-religious genital cutting of children in the next, it is possible to do this in like 2 years. I really do believe it. I think we're going to get a lot of momentum, a lot of snowballing once we host this conference. Then we file the lawsuit. I spoke with I had exchanged emails today with the director of events at the Pioneer Courtyard Square, where Intact Global.
So he thinks that we can get this done within 2 years. All right, like that is pretty huge to go ahead and sue all the states in 2 years.
So again, we're trying to get this channel to 10,000 subscribers by the conference, right? That would be epic. Internet, I'm counting on you. I am counting on you for the success of this movement. We can succeed. I'm telling you, this is something that we can win at.
And he wants to get 10,000 subscribers. Like he wants to be, I guess, at a total at 10,000 subscribers. So when he made that statement, he was at 5.49K. He's currently looking down here. He's at 5.5K subscribers. I don't know. That just seems crazy, actually. It seems insane. The math just isn't mathing. He got a little over 5,000 subs after being on YouTube so he's been on YouTube a little over 11 years. And he thinks by the conference, he's going to go get an extra 4,000 subscribers. That doesn't math at all.
We'll pick up on it. I've been in touch with some YouTubers with significant platforms in the 9 figures. What is it? Wait, 7 figures, excuse me. It's a big difference.
So 7 figures, that is quite a lot of, that's pretty big. That's literally 1 million subscribers. So I checked out Eric Clopper's quote unquote biggest interview, or with the largest person, and it's with this Luke Story person, and he has 31,000 subscribers. So Eric is looking for someone who essentially has more than 32 times subscribers than Luke does. So I couldn't find a single instance when Eric Clopper has ever been on a YouTuber's platform with 6 figures. Like, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It's just there's no evidence that this will be happening. And the issue is with everything that Eric Clopper has said in those brief clips is that most intactivists have seen Prevail of the System videos. And a lot of the Prevail of the System fans, I would like to think, are pretty realistic. And I provide things with evidence. And even the polls show that most intactivists are pessimistic. Granted, it's a small poll, but still, Eric sounds unbelievable. And at worst, he sounds manic. Like, so many things that he's saying, most people aren't seeing it. Like, how is this downhill? We have insurance still covering circumcision procedures. We have Anthony the Squadron in Intaction having to backtrack in some states to go and protect children from being circumcised. And that still have to push other states into trying to get them to stop funding it. And he hasn't been successful yet. So I don't know where this downhill stuff's coming from. Like, and outlawing circumcision in 2 years in any state, what, that doesn't make sense. Like, this all sounds insane. Another thing that doesn't make a whole lot of sense either is that if you go to the Support Intact Global's GoFundMe, they've had this up for a very long time now. This was created September 16th, 2024. So I'm going to say about 6 months-ish when this got started. And Eric Clopper is about not even halfway raised yet. He has $24,650. And if you go to the Intact Global Oregon litigation effort, which I was covering for a very, very long time, probably like 8 months, he's still at $330 out of his $30,000 goal. So that doesn't make sense on how it's downhill. I feel like it is all uphill. It is an up mountain. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And if you actually do go ahead and watch Eric Clopper's videos, you will hear him talking about whales coming in and how one person could fund this for like $12 million. And honestly, that is his only hope at this point. Now, another symptom of this overpromising and under-delivering is the missing the weekly live streams as he promised. So maybe you forgot about this, but Eric Clopper is supposed to be doing weekly live streams, and he streamed 5 months ago, 5 months ago. So he did it for about a month where he streamed. He was supposed to do it every Thursday, but he ended up doing it just once a week at whenever he could, and it lasted for about 4 weeks. And then he just went silent and was gone for about 5 months. Like, I think this is just a symptom of, once again, Eric Clopper overpromising and under-delivering. And this is nothing new with Eric Clopper. He has done this before with Forgin. He was talking in this here about, with just 5,000 supporters, we can fund our research for the next couple of years. Challenge for Forgin's first 5,000 supporters. This was made 10 years ago. And as you see here, Forgin doesn't even have 5,000 subscribers. Like, this is, at best, Eric Clopper's absolute high optimism. Like, very high optimism for our movement, and love the energy, but realistically, holy crap, man. Like, and now he's promising to do daily live streams. And that's a lot of work to do, to be honest, doing daily live streams up until the conference of March 29th. So he has about a whole month to go, and we'll see if he can keep it. But his track record isn't great for keeping up with promises or meeting his goals. And him just going straight to let's ban circumcision in states with no intermediate steps, like, for something like this, hasn't been tried before 2 times in Denmark and in San Francisco, where it was fertile ground. Like, do you really think he's going to deliver in any single state an actual ban of non-religious circumcision? But it's your money, viewers. Eric clearly showed he wasn't interested in using Prevail over the System's help, and I'm not here to force my help on any group. Prevail over the System tried to help Intact Global multiple different times in different ways. Even you, the fans, reached out to Eric Clopper. If he wants nothing to do with us, we're not going to simp. He has Eliyahu and NLI to back him up, I suppose. Hopefully he starts keeping his word, starts keeping other intactivists' time and their schedule in mind, and also, hopefully, he starts keeping up with his socials and everything else with his responsibilities. Like, holy crap, this guy's putting a lot on himself. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. You know what's wild that I've definitely noticed is that if you go to the org chart, the visual representation of Intact Global's organization structure, is that if you go down to the volunteers, you have anonymous people all right down here. Look at this. You have anonymous, like 8 anonymous people. How are you mad at Prevail over the System? That's crazy. And this anonymous person is your SEO, and this anonymous person's doing research and social media and video editing. Wow, that's interesting. That's crazy. Like, I don't know, make that make sense to me.